A very warm welcome to each of you joining us online today. We are delighted you could make time to be part of this important session on the quiet power of one better bite, tips for smart eating. If you have missed our previous sessions on marriage, parenting, do check out our YouTube channel. We do have the recordings available. It's my pleasure to introduce our resource person for today, Dr. Shanti Mary George. Dr. Shanti is based in Bangalore and is a medical doctor with a PG diploma in counseling. She brings with her several years of experience working with children, teenagers, adults, and marginalized communities. She was associated with the Agape Center, an NGO in Kerala, and has also been serving with Jeevan Jala Seva Samiti, Bangalore, over the last year. One of her deepest passions is promoting healthy living and holistic well-being. She particularly enjoys preparing nutritious meals for her family and guests. Dr. Shanti is also a proud mother of 2 adult children, aged 26 and 20. Let me welcome Dr. Shanti Mary George for today's session.
It's a joy for me to share the knowledge which I have gained over the years through practical experience, through my childhood upbringing and the medical knowledge. And it has been there, God has been enabling me to grow in this for the past more than 30 years. Yeah. So I have titled it as The Quiet Power of a Better Bite, the art of eating smart. So each small step that we take has power in it, although it is quiet. And it is an art. It involves our creativity, our discipline, our consistency, our self-control, and a lot of things. And it's an adventure, and the result is really satisfying. It's a slow process, but we would be really happy we undertook this journey of adventure. In the late 1900s, in the late 1990s, and in the early 2000s, a researcher named Dan Butenor, he and his team of people was doing a research, and they found out, first of all, in Italy, in a place called Sardinia, that there was an unusually high percentage of centenarians, which means people who were living beyond 100 years. And that was quite unusual. And later on, researchers in other places, like in Loma Linda in California, Costa Rica, Greece, place called Ikaria in Greece, and a place called Okinawa in Japan, they found similar percentage of centenarians, high level. And they marked it in blue pen. That's why these are also called blue zone areas. And the reason for these blue zone areas was found out. Why are some people living beyond 100 in these areas? And they realized that their lifestyle was quite different. They had, the way they maintained their health was because of having healthy food, like homegrown, home-cooked food, and then they were giving appropriate time to relationships, stress-free life, giving adequate time to sleep, then their body movements. It was not a gymnasium type of exercising, but just ordinary things like gardening, then sunshine, their connection with nature. Few other things combined together was the most probable reason why they had such long lives. Now let's look at the WHO definition of health. As a medical student, we had to study this, and this was asked in the exam, and any alteration in the definition means which we would be losing marks. So they had worked hard for it. They brought this up in 1946 and later enforced it in 1948. It says health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or So be staying healthy means it's not just in a physical body, but it is also having a healthy mind, healthy relationships, and yes, much more. We need to remember and realize one thing: our health is an asset. Sometimes we think having huge estate is an asset, huge bungalows, numerous flats, owning numerous flats and having a big bank balance is an asset. But we hardly pay attention to the fact that our health is an asset worth crores and crores and crores of rupees. We understand its value when it is lost, and we start paying so much, a heavy amount of money from our pocket just to keep ourselves healthy. One person named Jin Ron has said like this once: take care of your body. It is the only place you have to live. The Bible says our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And like we saw earlier, our health is maintained, good health is maintained because we need to be in proper connection with God, with ourselves, with others, and then there's a proper connection with nature, with animals, birds, plants. Then there should be proper diet, like food and water, proper sleep, proper exercise, proper sunshine. It's holistic. We can't just segregate and compartmentalize it to only one aspect of our body, that is absence of a sickness. So for our body to flourish, our soul should flourish, our relationships should flourish in every way. And that is when we are healthy. So are you a healthy person? How's your relationship with God? How's your relationship with yourself? Do you think your significance is based on your performance? Do you think when you are a failure, your value is gone? And when you are successful, your value goes up? In that case, you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. You are precious. You are priceless, and that is what God says. How's your relationship with other people, your family members, your friends? Is there unforgiveness, bitterness, hatred in your heart? If yes, then you're not healthy. But if we are forgiving people, and if that's an important aspect of our relationship, then yes, we are into maintaining healthy relationships. Of course, there's the other aspect of maintaining boundary with people who are too difficult and harmful, causing harm to us. Then another is essential lifestyle habits. Do you have adequate sleep? Do you take around 6 to 8 hours sleep or 7 to 9 hours sleep? Do you take adequate sunshine daily? Morning sunshine or the evening dusk, sunshine before dusk? 10 minutes every day is enough. Do you get regular exercise? It's not about going to the gym and working out every day. It's moving your body. 10 minutes of it, walking, climbing the stairs instead of the lift. So many things where you move your body. Are you doing that? And then the main issue comes about the diet. Are you having nutritious food, or does it comprise mostly of junk food? What are your dietary habits like? How much is your water intake? For an adult, around 60 kg. For a woman, it is 2.5 liters per day, 2.5 to 3 liters. And for an adult male, it is 3 to 3.5 liters. So do you have a healthy, nutritious habit? And what about your harmony with nature? These are things which are so interconnected and interrelated. We need to check ourselves to see if our lifestyle is healthy. And sometimes when we look at this big list, we may think, oh my goodness, so many things to be corrected in my life. Oh, it's too difficult. Let me give up. It's not possible with me. Others may do it. Dr. Shanti might be doing it, but I can't. Let me give up. But no. There's one poem by Julia Abigail Carney. We had to learn this poem in our English subject when we were in the school, probably in the 5th or 6th grade. I still remember it. It's wonderful. It says, little drops of water, little grains of sand, make the mighty ocean and the pleasant land. Little deeds of kindness, little words of love, help to make earth happy like the heaven above. And this picture of the ant, we know how it's so hardworking and how little by little it builds his home, it carries his food to the home, little by little, but ultimately it does that. Don't underestimate the power of little. Okay, so then let's come to the dietary issues. The holistic lifestyle topic is such a vast topic that I won't be able to cover it today in just 1 hour. Even the dietary thing is not, it's too vast for me to cover in just 1 hour, but I'll just go into the very basic foundational thing. So that if our basics are set right and we are on track with the basics, our life can be set on rails. And so I thought, let me start with the basics, the balance in the plate. And as is shown in the picture, it's a balancing, it may seem like a balancing act, but once we grasp the basics, it is like we can set our life on rails, daily routine. Okay? Yes. The balanced diet. How does your plate look like? A balanced diet should contain all these things mentioned here. It should contain carbohydrates, it should contain proteins, fats, fibers, vitamins, and minerals, according to the researchers found. Carbohydrates give us 4 kilocalories per gram. Proteins give us 4 kilocalories per gram. They are the same, but carbohydrates are primarily the immediate source of energy for our body, for our brain, and for the muscles. Proteins, they are not the immediate sources of energy, although they also give 4 kilocalories per gram. Proteins are more useful in building of the tissues and repair of the tissues. Then there's the fats, which gives a whopping 9 kilocalories per gram, which is more than double of what carbohydrates and proteins give. And fats are also the source of energy, but not the immediate source. When we are into phases like starvation, we are not getting carbohydrates and proteins, then the body breaks down fats to give us energy. Until then, it is stored in cells called adipose cells. Then there is fiber, which is so important. They help in giving us roughage. They help in taking out, they are not digested, they are not absorbed by the body, they just go out with a poop. But they help maintaining the cholesterol levels as well. So dietary fiber is very important for our plate. And then there are vitamins and minerals. So many vitamins and minerals. Let's look at all of them. So carbohydrates or carbs, many times they are looked at as the villain. Are they really the villains? They, like I said earlier, they are the primary source of energy, especially for our brain and muscles. Now there are good carbohydrates. As the picture shows, good carbohydrates comprise of whole grains like rice and wheat, then oats, then tubers like potato, sweet potato, beetroot, all those things, and carrots. Then there are fruits. Any fruit, especially those which are sweet, like mango and banana, they are rich in carbohydrates. Grapes, they are rich in carbohydrates. But at the same time, there are bad carbohydrates. These are processed foods like refined sugar and maida. What has happened? How is maida created? Maida is obtained from wheat, but they were processed so much, they were refined so much that all the nutrients have gone, all the fiber has gone from maida. So what is remaining is just some powdery material which is very light and which is good for making pastries, biscuits, cakes, etc. But maida is not healthy. Similarly, sugar, refined sugar. This is, we know we get our sugar from sugar canes, but they are ultra refined. They are bleached, and they have lost the minerals and nutrients, and sugar just provides the sweetness to us. So these can also be called the junk food, which don't provide any nutrients per se. They just fill our stomach. They don't provide vitamins, they don't provide minerals, they don't provide fiber or proteins or anything. Yeah. As you can see in the picture, examples of foodstuffs made from maida or sugar are pastries, biscuits, the Kerala parota, which is a big hit, and then aerated drinks, and one glass of an aerated drink. I won't name the companies, but one glass can contain up to 4 tablespoons of sugar. Then there are ice creams. These are some of the examples. So as much as possible, we need to eat foods that are closest to their natural state. We saw the carbohydrates. What are some of the carbohydrates? These are rice and wheat and oats and cereals and carrots, beetroots, potatoes. So tubers are very high in carbohydrates. They are very high in starch. So carbohydrates increase our blood sugars and they give instant energy. And that is why diabetics, people who have diabetes, are advised to cut down on carbohydrates, to cut really down on roots and tubers because they are very, very starchy. But we need carbohydrates, they should not be totally cut off. What needs to be cut off is these refined sugar and maida, things made from that. Okay. Now, proteins. Proteins are important for the building, repair, and maintenance of our body tissues, especially the muscles, skins, blood, etc. What are the sources of proteins? There are plant sources and there are animal sources. Plant sources are the dal and chana, soya bean, rajma, pumpkin seeds. I'm trying to mention all the Indian sources which we can readily get around us in India. Then there are the animal sources of protein like milk, egg, fish, poultry, and beef and mutton or pork. All these provide proteins for us. Yeah, and we need proteins for our tissue repair. Then we need fats. They are also giving energy. They are needed for energy, they are needed for nutrient absorption, and they are needed in the long term. So fats are obtained from vegetable oils, nuts, sorry the spelling is wrong, nuts and seeds. So vegetable oils can be coconut oil, peanut oil, mustard oil, sesame oil, and olive oil. A lot of sources are there, sunflower oil. Then there's animal sources like ghee, butter, fatty fish. So like we saw earlier, if we have an idea about the calorific value, carbohydrates give instant energy, immediate energy, we need them. But how much do we need? Okay. Proteins are important for tissue repair, we need them. Fats are important, they give 9 kilocalories, but how much do we need? So if we look at these calorific levels, we can, as adults, we can cut down on our carbohydrate level and our fat level and increase the protein level and the fiber levels. Okay. Children, according to their height and weight and growth, they may be needing carbohydrates more and fats more depending on their level of nutrition. About vitamins and minerals, they are found in fruits as well as vegetables mostly. So fruits, they are rich in vitamins, and there are different kinds of vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K, which are fat soluble, and then vitamin B and C. B comes as a vitamin B complex and vitamin C. Each of these are so important for our body. And just to come to the basic level, any fruit or vegetable which is brightly colored, they would be rich in antioxidants, they would be rich in vitamins, so you can have them. But if you are a diabetic, then because fruits contain high level of sugar, you may need to cut down the quantity of fruits or vegetables. But if you are a kid or a teenager or a young adult with no health issues, all these fruits and vegetables, they provide richly vitamins and minerals, and they are essential for our body. Like we see in the picture, these carrots, they are brightly orange in color, and they give vitamin A, which are good for the eyes. The tomatoes, pineapple is rich in vitamin C. Grapes also rich in antioxidants. So then there's mango. It is again bright orange in color, so rich in vitamin A. And all these fruits and vegetables, like I told earlier, they are rich in roughage. And so different kinds of vitamins, for example, green leafy vegetables, they are rich in iron, they are rich in folic acid, they provide magnesium, they give calcium, lot of things. So calcium is important for our body, for the development of bones and for functioning of the muscles, along with other things. Now just a word about body mass index. What is body mass index? It is a screening tool to calculate a person's weight to height ratio, to estimate the body fat. Now it is not 100% accurate, but it can act as a screening tool. Suppose you are an adult and you want to know whether my body mass index is good or not, am I overweight, am I underweight, you can use this formula. Body mass index is calculated by weight in kilograms divided by height in meters squared. So that gives an idea of what our body mass index is and what category we come to. If the calculated answer is below 8.5, below 18.5, it is low BMI, which means you are underweight. A normal BMI or a healthy weight is 18.5 to 24.9. And a high body mass index of 25 to 29.9 indicates that you are overweight. And very high means you're obese, which means that there is a body mass index of 30 or higher. Okay, so just by knowing our body mass index can help us which category we come under, and that is not for the sake of body shaming ourselves or anything, but to take one more step towards healthy lifestyle. Some tips for the art of eating smart. Now, I say it is an art, and you need to balance nutrition, you need to balance taste, you need to balance your work and busy schedules. Some of you may be having small children, and then you are working also, and then sometimes in your workplace your friends come, let's go out and eat, and then sometimes they force you, come, you have something, even though you want to maintain a boundary as far as food is concerned. So how do I balance that? What about the pleasures? What about the cravings that I get? What about the comfort I get? So some of the things, really an art of balancing everything. So some of the things which I would like to mention, it's a big list, but actually I am going to say a few things which, by the grace of God, I have been enabled to practice for the past more than 30 years. And I'm not perfect. I have fallen many times, but it has helped me overall. Let me tell you, it requires self-control, discipline, consistency, and there's a lot of creativity in it. And like I said earlier, the power of little. Don't underestimate the power of little. Start small, one step at a time. Okay. So, nutrition above taste. Just a minute. Okay. Or vice versa. Now, we have grown up to appreciate taste, and many of us have grown up without giving consideration to nutrition. Taste is one of the five senses given by God, so God wants us to enjoy taste. But let us not compromise it with, keeping aside nutrition. So, if we have been keeping taste above nutrition, let us, through practice in our thought pattern, bring about nutrition and bring it above taste. So, you can learn to think. If you look at a food, you can ask yourself, is it nutritious for me? Is it useful for me? Is it good for me? If it is good, I will eat that. If it is not nutritious, I will not eat it. So that is the pattern of thinking we need to develop. Okay. Sometimes we tell others, "Oh, I like this cake." Why do I like this cake? Because I like the taste of it. So we are putting the taste. So instead, can we learn to say, "I like this dish," and somebody asks, "Why do you like this dish?" You can say, "I like this because it's nutritious." So if you could learn to change your thinking pattern, I like a food item because it is nutritious. And if we learn to say, if somebody offers you something which is not nutritious and you're planning to reduce your weight, for example, an ice cream, then you need to say, "I don't like ice cream." Now, you need not tell why you don't like ice cream. You can, in your mind and heart, you can say, "I don't like ice cream because it's not nutritious." So that's one way of putting nutrition above taste. Changing your thinking pattern when you look at a food. Another thing which I would like to point out is, don't skip meals as much as possible. See, because nowadays in our present day work culture, there is so much of busyness. We bring work home, and then we keep working at our home, and then we skip meals in the race to finish our work in time, and that actually impacts our health in the long run. I personally am of the old-fashioned school, which says, "Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and dinner like a pauper." I feel there's much common sense in that, because breakfast is the time when we need to have the maximum energy, because the day has just started and we are going to work, move around. Our brain needs energy, our body needs energy, and that is when we need to eat well, nutritious, healthy food. And lunch, the amount can be decreased a little more, and dinner like a pauper, because after dinner, a few hours later, we would be going to sleep and our physical activity would be so reduced. So calories are not going to burn in our sleep much. So, and another important thing is, eat your dinner early as much as possible, probably by 7 p.m. Some people eat it by 6:30 p.m. That's wonderful. If possible, as much as possible, 7 p.m. But if that is not possible, try to bring it as early as possible. If you are a person who eats it at 9 p.m., then try to eat it at 8:30. If you're a person who eats it at 8:30, bring it to 8 p.m. like that, so that the digestion and the calorie amount that is going to be used up can be more before we go to bed. And also there's something called the circadian rhythm, which is so much connected to the sun, and where our cellular processes take place in connection with the sun. So when the sun goes down, the cellular processes also come down. So when the sun is up, as long as the sun is up, our movements, our food patterns should also be connected to that. Our sleep patterns should be connected to that. Another is, take care to cut down on oils, fats, and sugars. Like we saw earlier, fats give us a whopping 9 kilocalories per gram, oils and fats. So even if we consume 1 gram of fat or oil, it will give 9 kilocalories which has to be burnt. And for burning up 1 gram of fat requires lot of workout. Okay, otherwise it gets deposited in the adipose cells. So that is a very important thing which we need to take care. And if we cut down on fats and oils and sugars, then we need to replace that with proteins and fibers. The advantage of having proteins is that they keep us feeling fuller, so we don't feel hungrier. If we keep taking sugary foods and all, it suppresses our appetite for some time, then we become hungry again. Sugars give us immediate energy, okay, but then in the long term we become hungrier again, and they don't give us as much nutrients. So we need to concentrate more. We need to concentrate more on having proteins and fibers, and we need to cut down on oils, fats, and sugars. So remove a little bit of oil, fat, and sugary food, and replace a little bit of proteins and fibers in your diet. One diet at a time. Don't make a long term 10-year plan. Don't make a 5-year plan. Just make it an everyday plan. Okay, what can I do next? Is there protein? Is there fiber? One important thing is, what is cooking in the kitchen? How much oil is being used for a family of 3 or for a family of 4? If you are using 4 liters of oil per month, you are using too much of oil in your cooking. Okay, so if focusing on healthy nutrition, focusing on healthy cooking comes up. So as far as the Indian style of cooking is concerned, many times we fry our vegetables in large amount of oil. We fry our fish, we fry chicken, a lot of oil is used. Even while making dal, tadka, or the tadka for sambar or other curries, we use lot of oil. So can we take a step to cut down on the oils that we use in cooking? Sometimes when for the South Indian cooking, and when we are making dosa, nay roast, we put lots of spoonfuls of oil on it or ghee on it. Can we cut down on that? If we are using 4 tablespoons for the tadka or frying vegetables, can we cut it down to 2? If we are people who are using lot of ghee or oil on our chapatis, can we cut down on that? If we are using less, can we make fulka and eat? Now, when we hear all this, our mind can get switched off. Oh, diet is the 4-letter word. Oh, no, I'm getting into a prison. No, it's if our body has to be blessed, our brain, our mind, our thinking pattern has to change, has to be trained. And a short-term, fast, quick, it's not a quick method. Quick method can give instant results, but what happens is, again, we are like bouncing back to our original weight in weight loss schemes. Okay, so what is cooking in the kitchen? That is very much connected to what we eat. And many of us would be hiring maids or household helps to do our cooking, because we would be busy with our work or handling children and all. So how is our maid or household help cooking? Are they using too much of oil? Are they using too much of ghee? Are they using too much of salt? Are we checking? Have we trained them into intelligent, intentional cooking? Okay. Another thing is, eat small portions and chew well. So eating small portions means not portions of vegetables, but portions that are carbohydrate rich or fat rich. For example, our Indian style, our Indian thali would have 3/4 of rice, and then 1/4 of some vegetable, and 1/4 of some non-veg. Now, that Indian style of our thali is not a good one. What we should have instead should be the other way around. It should contain 3/4 portion of the vegetables and fruits should be rich in fiber. And then 1/4 can be the non-veg, and then the 1/4 should be rice. Okay. So, and another mistake that we often make in our Indian culture is, suppose we are having rice with vegetables and dal and everything, okay, and then the rice gets over, but the dal and some vegetables remains in the thali. So what do? In order to finish those vegetables and dal, we take some more rice. Okay, that why is that happening? Because we have not learnt it the other way. Vegetables don't occupy the bigger portion of our plate, and we are not used to eating vegetables by themselves. We are used to having vegetables with rice. So can we reverse that process? Can we reverse that order? And whatever rice you take, let it be little, and try not to take more portions of it. Okay. And another very important tip is chew well. So hasty eating causes us to chew less, and we swallow our food. And there's a center in the brain called satiety center or satiety center, both are correct. So there's a hunger center and there's a satiety center. So when we feel hungry, our brain senses that, and it tells us to eat food. So as we are eating food, if we are eating fast, the satiety center, which gives us a feeling of satisfaction that our stomach is full, it takes time to work and come into action. So what happens if we eat the usual portion of food very fast in 5 minutes, the satiety center has not come into activation. So our brain would still feel as if we are hungry. So we may want to eat more. So slow eating is very important, and chewing well is very important. Now I'll give an example. Suppose we are having our food, our lunch, for example, and we were halfway through our lunch, and then somebody rings the calling bell, and then we go and open it, and we find and that it's a friend, and then we talk for around 5 to 10 minutes. Friend comes inside, we talk for 5 to 10 minutes, and the friend goes, and then do we feel like finishing that plate? No. Why? Because now that satiety center has got activated and we are feeling full. So that is why it happens. So eat small portions, chew well. Eat early dinner. Now another is the option of Swiggy or Zomato. So what about that? What about ordering food from outside? How is it? Okay, so what do Swiggy or Zomato foods cooked from outside? What do they often contain? Now, most of the restaurants, I won't say all, but many restaurants, they are often concerned only about making money, and they would think of making the food attractive and tasty for the customer. They may add food colorings. For example, when we buy some pastries from canned sugar candies, or even juices, fruit juices, or even food like some chicken dishes, they may contain food colorings. And many of these food colorings are carcinogenic, which means cancer causing. So would we want to pay money to get cancer, invite cancer inside? No. Yeah. Then another is the trans fat. Many trans fats are formed when oil is heated excessively, and when food is cooked and recooked in the same oil. And in many hotels and restaurants, it's being done, and so they are quite rich in trans fat. Then there are flavor enhancers, preservatives. Okay, preservatives, many times sodium benzoate, foodstuffs like noodles and sausages, they are extremely high in sodium levels. And this very high level of sodium in our body can lead to high blood pressure. Okay. And another is MSG, monosodium glutamate. This has been found to be carcinogenic in mice, and also they are not recommended for children below 2 years. So do we check the labels of the food that we are buying? Do they contain trans fat? Do they contain palmolene? Palmolene is an oil which is heavy in trans fat, and it is not recommended. But many snacks which come in packages, if you look carefully and read it, it contains palmolene. And even reputed companies who are selling the snacks, where they in their packages it's written palmolene. So are we aware of that? Are we checking the covers? And then pesticides. See, it's a common knowledge that many vegetables contain a lot of pesticides, and we need to wash them well. So are we so confident about the hotels and restaurants from which we are buying the food that they are washing the fruits and vegetables well before cooking them or before offering them on the plate? There would be adulterants. So many things that are available on the market, the masalas, they can be adulterated. And what type of masalas are these restaurants and hotels using? Do we know? And while I say these things, I want to remind you that not all hotels or restaurants are like that. Many are very reliable, yeah, but we need to find out. So as much as possible, eat home cooked food for a healthy lifestyle, for a healthy diet, nutritious food. Train your household help. Say no to deep fried snacks and sugary desserts as much as possible, especially when we go as guests to somebody's home. They are very happy to have us there, to meet us, to see us, and they want to show their love and respect to us. And they may buy so many wonderful snacks for us. It can be deep fried samosas or parampuri or banana chips, or or it can be North Indian sweets which are full of ghee and sugar, or it can be it can be Coke, it can be Pepsi, aerated drinks, it can be ice cream. But how then, when you see those things, how does your mind work? Oh, wow, tasty food, wonderful. Or does it give a word of caution to you? Wait, stop. Is it nutritious or is it tasty? Do you think like that? It's a good practice to start training your mind and your brain to think like that. So what should we do when we go as guests to somebody's home? When they have prepared so many good things for us, won't it be rude if we don't eat anything? Yeah, it would be rude. Just to show them love, maybe take a small portion of what they have offered, and then you can stop, and then you can say, no, thank you. Another thing is free can be costly. Okay, free can be costly. There are company breakfasts that we get. It's free. Multinational companies, they offer a wide range of items for breakfast, and it's free. But what are the things being offered? Are we vigilant? Is it made of maida? Is it made containing too much carbohydrate, too much other things? Do we pick and choose what is healthy? What about marriage lunches and dinners? There's a wide variety of things that are offered, biryanis and yummy things. And we think, oh, come on, let's stuff ourselves. It's free. We may not get to eat so much later on. Food is expensive here. We may think like that. But is our brain thinking in the proper rail? Has it been put? Can we train ourselves to be intentional and think, okay, what is healthy here? I'll take that. What is not healthy? Let me not take that. Or if we are not able to resist the craving, maybe take only a small portion of it, of what is not too healthy, and take a big portion of what is healthy. And similarly, in birthday parties, the cakes would be so attractive. So people who have a sweet tooth won't be able to resist it. But can we slowly make that habit of taking only a small bite or a small portion, and maybe slowly cut off stop it altogether. What can I do? Yeah, it's a habit to be built in slowly and but surely. It is not something which we do suddenly. Uh, you know, I want to talk something about. Okay, I also wanted to talk about what if I'm staying in a PG or a hostel. The food that they give there is not healthy. True, yeah, it may not be, but try to find out the good in that. For example, if the chicken curry or the vegetable curry is too oily, take out the vegetables and eat, leave the gravy. If the biryani is too oily, full, then take a small portion of it. And maybe you can buy lot of fruits and which you can eat at your leisure in your room, or you can buy cucumbers and tomatoes which you can eat raw. You can if they allow you to cook or maybe do little bit of cooking, then buy eggs and keep boil it and eat. Not too many eggs, maximum of 1 or 2 per day, that's all. So some try to be creative and try to find out how can I incorporate nutritious food even in my situation. And it's a very creative, adventurous journey as well doing that. Then I want to tell something about the indoor generation. Now, more and more younger generation, they are staying indoors. They are not going outdoors. Firstly, because of lack of space to play outside, and secondly, because of devices, and thirdly, because the culture, the lack of space even around the flats as well. So children, they stay at home, sit in front of the devices the whole day. They have to study, they have to do a lot of homework, and then they go to sleep. The next day they get up, get into the bus, go to school. Every time they are indoors and they are hardly outdoors, and they lack on getting the sunshine, everything. And like I said earlier, our body has been created with a circadian rhythm which is so much connected to sunshine, our sleep, our hunger, and satiety. There are two hormones called ghrelin and leptin which help in hunger and satiety. They are connected to our exposure to sunshine. And then vitamin D3, our skin forms that because through exposure to sunshine, and calcium absorption is helped because of presence of vitamin D3. So sunshine is so very important. Exposure to sunshine is so very important. And being an indoor generation means there is lack of vitamin D3 in many Indian people, especially the urban people, because they are constantly indoors, and because of that they have a deficiency in calcium because the calcium is not properly absorbed due to lack of vitamin D3. And then there's the importance of fluid intake. How much fluid are you taking? Is it around 8 to 10 glasses per day? Are you hydrating yourself properly? Water is so important for the cellular processes to take place, for the toxins to be washed out. So is that adequate? And sometimes our thirst is misunderstood by our brain as hunger, and we feel that we want to eat something, but actually it was just a thirst pang. Just drinking a glass of water would immediately satisfy you, and you will be fine. In fact, to control our hunger, water is also very good. Constantly drinking water. Then importance of body movements, that not just exercise but body movements. How much are we moving? Are we constantly seated in front of the device, always sitting there, so that there's poor blood circulation? Our body movements help the proper blood circulation, muscles to be strengthened. It is very important. Even if you have to walk to the nearby kirana shop to buy some milk or eggs, please do that. Don't order it over Instamart or Blinkit and all. Try to go out as much as possible. Try to go out for walks. Try to go out just to appreciate nature, to look at the sky, to look at the stars, the grasses, ants, the butterflies, everything. If you want to go down the stairs, take the stairs and not the lift. Uh, and if your body is okay, not having back pain, knee pain, climb up the stairs if possible. Improve body movements. Sometimes, as the age goes by, as we grow older, we want to move less and less, and we tell children or grandchildren, okay, beta, please get me one glass of water. And then this we have the remote control for the TV, remote control for the fan, remote control for the AC. We hardly make our body move. Yeah. So making our body move is so important. Maybe through doing household chores, cleaning, anything, find something which is comfortable for your body to do and move your body as much as possible. So exercise means, don't imagine just working out in your gym and building up lot of muscles. If you're not doing that, you're not exercising. No. Even the small body movements, you can start with that. Then start with 5 minutes walking. Then you can increase 10 minutes walking. Everything. Yeah. So the time is up, and I would have loved to talk lot more things on this topic. This is one of my favorite topics, but the time is up. So thank you very much for listening.
Okay, so Dr. Shanti, there is one question that has come through. Is it really necessary for us to consult a nutritionist to decide our diet habits? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you for that question. It depends on your age, how your body health is, and everything. Now, if your health is reasonably okay and you're not suffering from too many diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, which requires a lot of things, then actually, if you have a basic idea, uh, then if you can learn to work it out yourself, that would be very good. But a lot of times you're not able to work it out yourself. So having a friend or somebody to whom you can be accountable helps. And having a nutritionist also helps, because once, first of all, you are being accountable, and then you are also getting ideas, knowledge, information, and a level of accountability which you can develop through a nutritionist, but it is not always necessary.
Thank you for that answer. Another question, how can we overcome frequent tea or coffee drinking habits?
Can you please repeat the question, Jojo?
Sure, Doctor. How can we overcome frequent tea or coffee drinking habits?
Wow. Many of us suffer from that craving. Some of us are so much into it that if we don't drink it, we get headache. Tea and coffee, they contain substances like theobromine, caffeine, which gives us instant energy for our body, and it makes our brain suddenly active. So we like that, and slowly we get addicted to that. But knowing the ill effects of too much drinking also helps us. For example, tea can cause constipation. Too much tea can cause constipation, and later on, it can lead to fissures or piles. And in fact, drinking tea and coffee later on in the evening can lead us to sleepless nights as well. So it requires discipline, it requires consistency, and it requires our self control. And you can ask help from a friend or a family member to check on you, so that you are not constantly drinking that tea. Secondly, cutting down on the portion. If you are drinking one big cup, change it to half the cup. Okay, so that also cut down on the level of sugar, level of milk. If it's full cream milk, it cuts down, so that also helps. And it's a gradual process. Some people can do it fast, but it requires a lot of self control and discipline, and you have to do it. Our body may protest for the initial few days, but then after that it gets used to it. So those initial few days are important, where you keep saying no. When you go to the as a guest to somebody, keep saying no. No, I don't drink tea or coffee. In the workplace, say keep saying no, and that's important. Yeah. So this is the problem of initial few days, and then our body gets used to it.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. Dr. Shanti, the next question that has come up is how to battle addiction to potato wafers packets. Dr. Sunil, good to have you here as well.
Yes, yes.
Well, first of all, look at the package and what all is written there, the level of the content, how much calories it gives, how much trans fat, what type of oil is used. Many of them contain palmolin, which is high in trans fat. Just an awareness of it can also help. And then another thing is, don't keep any packets inside the home. Stop buying it. If it's in the home on the shelf, you open the shelf, it's there, and your brain goes aha, and then you reach out for it. Stop keeping all such packets at home. And for that, you need to stop going to shops or the sections of supermarket which would keep these things. Okay. And stop buying it for others as well. And if others give you, try to say no. And most often, a lot of addictions are difficult to break by yourself. So, asking for help from a friend or a family member is also important. So, asking that person, please be strict with me. Please ask me how much am I eating these days. It's important to have a friend or a family member to walk along with you.
Well, what I would like to add is imagine a sweet poison. I mean, if you know that what you're going to eat or drink is going to harm you, but it is very tasty, will you have it? I think just certain knowledge, and this part of this JJS's initiative is to make people understand and encourage that, well, we all eat, but eat smart, eat healthy. And the one interesting other thing which I would like to say is, those of you who believe in God, and some of the people do pray before eating. I don't know how a person can pray. You have for a Domino's double burst cheese pizza, and then you say, oh God, bless this food and sanctify this food. So maybe I'm saying occasional we may have some of these things, but one of the things which I would like to stress is a lifestyle change, something which in our mind we are, and I think Dr. Shanti was trying to emphasize that change in the mind, change in the thinking, of taking care of our body, eating well, eating healthy. I mean, none of us can. When I die, it's not in my hand, but my health and my taking care of my body is in my hand. I think that we must all do. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on substitutes for sugar, like sugar-free monk fruit sugar, etc., using them in our daily beverages like tea or coffee?
Yeah, sugar substitutes, although they give that sweetness, but chemically they are something which have been found to be cancer causing, carcinogenic in the long run. So they are not a healthy option. So if you are craving for that sweetness, instead use something which comes from the natural sources. There are fruits which are sweet, like dates or bananas. So if you want to use sugar, for your smoothies or something, use dates or use fruits like bananas or something which are sugary, which are naturally sweet,
Even
or
honey.
maybe, yeah, or maybe honey and or jaggery. They
Mm.
contain minerals. Honey contains enzymes, but people who are diabetic should not think that these things won't elevate your blood sugar. They will elevate your blood sugar as well, but they are healthier options. But the other options like sugar free and all, they are not healthy in the long run. Once in a while might be okay. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. And the last question for the day, how do we handle emotional eating habits?
Yes, I want to cover that portion, but topic, I didn't get the time. Something emotional eating, comfort eating. So again, that's a place where how are we handling stress? The question which comes to us is, this is something which we have developed over time. Some people reach out for chocolates, some people reach out for biryani to receive comfort. Okay. How about having a comfort activity rather than having a comfort food? Okay. So I feel it is also related to our staying indoors. A lot of times outdoors means our body moves, our body is in connection with sunshine, and then our body, those hormones like ghrelin and leptin, which are the hunger hormone and the satiety hormone, they come into play, they help, and our mind also gets distracted from the stress, the mental stress that we are going through. If we are inside the house, we want to look at the device, we want to watch a movie and have some food. All these things are related to our emotional thing. So instead, like Dr. Sunil said, first of all, cry out to God for help. And secondly, do something which will help you be distracted from that. And maybe go outdoors, maybe take a walk, maybe if it's afternoon, okay, that may not be possible, but something which will distract you. Talk to a friend, call up a friend and talk. Do some hobby which you enjoy at that time, so that your mind gets focused on something which is productive.
Thanks, Dr. Shanti. It's not a question, but a general disclaimer. Often people think these comments or advices are to be followed, especially when people get old, because now they need to care for the body. But how essential or how does these apply to kids or teens? Because often they have the advantage of saying, okay, you're still young, you could eat, you can be cautious later.
Yes.
With this remark, maybe we could conclude the session today.
Yes, yeah. अब in Hindi we say अब खैर जो होगा देखा जाएगा,
Mm.
like that we say. But the thing is, the habits that we develop early in life, those are the habits which help us take us on. And the food and the things that we consume also affect our body even at a younger age. And that is why nowadays there is very high incidence of obesity amongst teenagers, and the incidence of blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, and even heart attack is found to be happening in younger age groups as well. People earlier, it used to be in the for people in their 60s or 70s, but now we see that even in the 30s, people who are in their 30s and 20s also. So and people suffer and pay the cost later, sometimes for medications, for investigations, for surgeries, for treatment, they need to pay lakhs. So if you have a good start from childhood, that will help you. It will definitely, a bad food habit, having lot of junk will definitely affect your body. There's no doubt about it.
May I just add, as a pediatrician, I would say we've seen a lot of children having all kinds of bad habits. And parents also think that it's a very easy thing to order something from Swiggy, Zomato, or something, and or buy something, and they keep them happy. But I would say, just now I was getting at something in my mind, that eat badly now, pay later. That would be the thing. And children, mind you, they also, many things are caught rather than taught. So parents might tell them to eat vegetables and all of those things, but do parents eat vegetables? They will see. then they will copy what the parents do. So I think parents have to teach the children good ways, but more importantly, parents have to be good models in these matters, and children would learn the good habits, and they would be able to follow what Shanti has been emphasizing. Uh, some of the people who heard these things today would be saying, "Kya yaar, all our enjoyment is gone. We cannot eat good food and all." But that's where our mind has changed. Let's learn to enjoy food. And it's not that we should never eat any of those things which does it, but
Yes.
we should use our discretion, use wisdom and self-control, and lead healthy lives. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Dr.
just
Shanti.
wanted
Yes,
to add,
please.
it's not
Feel free
about
to add.
perfection, attaining perfection. It's a journey, and we need to keep moving on. Once in a while, we fall, we forget, or we crave and we cheat. That's okay. Get up and keep moving forward.
Once again, thank you, Dr. Shanti. Thank you, Dr. Sunil, also for joining in. A very important, often neglected topic, but the points that you brought out about cultivating healthy habits, the art of eating well, consistency, accountability. Thanks a lot for bringing up all these today. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We hope this session has encouraged and equipped you in some way to lead healthy lives. Stay tuned. I have posted the links to our social media channels. We would announce upcoming sessions in our social media platforms. Stay tuned. Do join for our next sessions. Until then, take care. Keep nurturing good habits, love, faith, commitment, and a healthy lifestyle. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day for joining us.